If you are over 65 and you take your own blood pressure at home, I need you to listen carefully for the next 18 minutes. There is a very good chance that the number you see on your home monitor in the morning is wrong. And in 2026, with the new way doctors are calculating cardiovascular risk, a wrong number is no longer a small problem. It is the number that drives the medication you are about to start, the medication you are about to stop, and the medication you have been taking for years. I am Dr. Richard James. After more than 3 decades caring for adults over 60, I can tell you that 3 specific home measurement mistakes have quietly become the most common reason that patients walk into my clinic with the wrong treatment plan. Not because anyone is being careless, because nobody has ever shown them how to do it correctly. By the end of this video, you will know exactly which of these mistakes you are probably making, the one that matters the most after 65, and the simple home protocol that turns your monitor from a confusing number into a number your doctor can actually trust. Let me set the stage for why this matters more now than it did 5 years ago. In November 2023, the American Heart Association introduced a new cardiovascular risk calculator called Prevent. Unlike the older 10-year calculator your doctor has been using since the 2010s, Prevent projects 30-year risk and weights blood pressure differently for adults over 65. The calculator is more sensitive to small changes. A 5-point error in your home reading can move you from one treatment category to another. That is exactly why getting the home reading right is no longer optional. This is not a normal part of aging. By the time you notice that your medication does not seem to fit, the conversation has often been built on a number that was off by 5, 10, or even 20 points. Your doctor has probably never sat down and walked you through the 3 mistakes I am about to walk you through. Imagine a patient I will call Carol, the kind of profile we see in clinic every week. Carol is 71, a retired librarian, lives in Ann Arbor, married 49 years, 2 children, 4 grandchildren. Carol came in last spring genuinely worried. Her home monitor had been reading 152/88 every morning for 3 weeks. Her doctor was about to add a second blood pressure medication. Before we did, I asked her one question. Show me exactly how you take your reading at home. We sat down together. The number changed by 18 points before we left the room. She still takes only 1 medication, at the same dose she had been on for 4 years. Now here is where it gets really interesting. The 3 mistakes Carol was making are the same 3 mistakes most adults over 65 are making. None of them feel wrong, none of them look wrong on the monitor, and all 3 quietly drive the wrong medication decision. Mistake number 1 is cuff height. Most home cuffs in seniors' bathrooms or kitchens are placed too high above the heart. The reading goes up. Or too low, sitting in the lap with the arm dangling. The reading goes up again. Cuff height matters more than the most expensive feature on the monitor. The rule is simple. Your cuff must be at heart level. The middle of the cuff must align with the middle of your sternum, the bone in the center of your chest. Not the top of the chest, not the side, the center. If the cuff sits 4 inches above heart level, it can read 5 to 8 points lower than your true number. If it sits 4 inches below heart level, it can read 5 to 10 points higher. That second case is what was happening for Carol. She was sitting at her kitchen table with the cuff resting in her lap. Every reading was being inflated by exactly that mechanical mistake. The fix is simple. Sit at a table, plant both feet flat on the floor. Rest the arm on the table so that the middle of the cuff is the same height as the middle of your chest. If the table is too low, place a folded towel under your forearm to raise it. The smaller details, like keeping your back supported and your feet flat, also matter. They sound minor. They add up to 5 to 10 points of difference. There is also a less obvious version of the cuff height mistake that I see all the time. Patients who place the cuff over their pajama sleeve or over a thin shirt sleeve instead of bare skin. The fabric introduces a small but consistent error that compounds with the height error. The combined effect can shift a single reading by 8 to 12 points in either direction. Bare skin matters. The cuff size also matters. A cuff that is too small for your arm reads high. A cuff that is too large reads low. Most retail home monitors come in a single adult size, which fits the average arm but underfits a larger arm and overfits a smaller one. Check the cuff size against the size guide on the box and replace it if your arm circumference is at the edge of the range. Why does this single mistake matter more in 2026 than it did before? Because Prevent, the new 30-year calculator, treats a sustained reading of 145 differently from a sustained reading of 130. The protocol shifts. The medication conversation shifts. The follow-up cadence shifts. A 10-point measurement error creates a 10-point treatment error. That is the entire reason cuff height stopped being a polite suggestion and became the foundation of accurate home monitoring after 65. Now, this next mistake is the one I see most often, and the one that catches even careful patients. Mistake number 2 is timing. Most seniors take their morning reading on autopilot. Coffee in one hand, phone with bad news in the other, cuff on the arm, hit the button, number on the screen, done. That entire sequence is filled with hidden landmines. Coffee, even decaffeinated, can raise blood pressure for up to 30 minutes after the first sip. A phone call about a sick family member can raise it for an hour. Walking up the stairs to the bathroom can raise it for 5 to 10 minutes. Speaking to your spouse during the reading can raise it. Speaking on a phone call during the reading can raise it. Even thinking about the doctor's appointment scheduled for next week can raise it, in a phenomenon called anticipatory hypertension. The fix is a sequence, not a single action. Sit quietly for 5 minutes before the reading. Empty your bladder if it is full. Do not speak. Do not look at your phone. Place your feet flat on the floor. Take 3 slow breaths. Then take the reading. Most home monitors offer an automatic 3-reading average mode for exactly this reason. Use it. Some of you are listening to this and quietly counting how many of those steps you actually do. The phone you check while the cuff inflates. The conversation you have with your spouse mid-reading. The trip to the kitchen for water 30 seconds before the cuff goes on. None of those moments feel medical. Each of them is data your monitor mistakes for hypertension. This is exactly where most people make a critical mistake. They take one reading, they write down the number, they walk away. That single reading habit is the third and most dangerous mistake on this list because it interacts directly with how Prevent calculates risk. There is one more layer to the timing mistake worth naming. Many seniors take their blood pressure within minutes of waking, while still in their pajamas, before any movement. That early morning reading is sometimes elevated for a different reason. The body's natural cortisol surge in the first 60 minutes after waking can briefly raise the reading. The American Heart Association's home monitoring protocol specifically calls for the morning reading to be taken at least 30 minutes after waking, with breakfast either eaten or postponed until after the reading. Following that 30-minute rule alone has saved more than one of my patients from being told they were uncontrolled when they were, in fact, perfectly fine. Mistake number 3 is using a single reading to make a treatment decision. Blood pressure is not a snapshot. It is a moving average. Your number at 7 in the morning is genuinely different from your number at 11 in the morning, your number at 3 in the afternoon, and your number at 9 at night. The American Heart Association recommends that patients average 2 readings, taken 1 minute apart, twice a day, for at least 7 days, to produce a number that any clinician should rely on for medication decisions. Single readings are exactly what drive the wrong medication conversations I see most often. A patient takes 1 reading. It is high. They take a second reading 30 seconds later. It is lower. They take a third. It is somewhere between. They write down the highest number and bring it to the cardiologist. The cardiologist sees the highest number, sees the trend, and recommends a second medication. The patient walks out with a new prescription based on a number that was 1 reading on 1 morning during 1 stressful week. Carol's home reading average over 7 days, with the cuff at heart level, with 5 minutes of quiet, with 2 readings averaged each session, came in at 134/80. Her medication was correct. Her plan was correct. The conversation she had been about to have with her doctor was a conversation built on the wrong number. So here is exactly what I want you to do, starting tonight. There is one specific home protocol that turns 3 weeks of confusion into a single trustworthy number, and I will give it to you in a moment. Now I know what some of you are thinking. Your doctor has been looking at your home readings for years and never said anything about cuff height, timing, or averaging. You are right to question that. Most primary care visits run 12 to 15 minutes. There is rarely time to walk a patient through a measurement protocol from scratch. The information exists in the AHA's published patient education. It is not reaching the kitchen tables where the readings are actually being taken. This is not a criticism of your doctor. It is a description of a system that has been running too fast for the patient education piece to keep up. The PREVENT-era reality is that the home reading carries more weight than ever in the treatment decision. The system needs to slow down to teach the protocol. Until it does, this video is the best thing I can give you in the next 18 minutes. Here is the protocol I want you to use, starting tonight. It is 6 specific steps, and it takes about 7 minutes per session. Step 1. Sit at a table with your back supported and both feet flat on the floor. Do not cross your legs. Step 2. Empty your bladder if it is full. A full bladder can raise the systolic reading by up to 10 points. Step 3. Sit quietly for 5 minutes before the cuff goes on. No phone, no conversation, no television. 3 slow breaths. Step 4. Place the cuff on your bare arm, not over a sleeve. Position it so that the middle of the cuff is at the same height as the middle of your chest. Use a folded towel under your forearm if your table is too low. Step 5. Take 2 readings, 1 minute apart. Most monitors have an automatic mode for this. If yours does not, take the second reading manually 60 seconds after the first. Do not speak between readings. Do not check your phone between readings. Step 6. Record the average of the 2 readings, not the highest one. Repeat morning and evening for 7 days. The average of those 14 readings is the number to bring to your doctor. That is the entire protocol. It is the same protocol any modern hypertension clinic would use. It is the protocol PREVENT was designed to be paired with. And it is the protocol that turns Carol's worried 152/88 into Carol's accurate 134/80. Some of you are going to look at this 6-step protocol and feel a small wave of resistance. 7 minutes twice a day for 7 days sounds like a lot. I want to be honest about why it is worth it. The conversation you have at your next appointment, the dose your cardiologist sets, the medication you may or may not stay on for the next 10 years, are all built on the number you bring in. A 7-day inconvenience that produces an accurate number is the best protection you have against 10 years of treatment built on a wrong one. After the first 7 days, most of my patients drop into a 1-week per quarter routine. The protocol is intense at first. It does not stay intense. Take care of your number tonight. If you have been worried about a home reading that has been creeping up, do not change anything in your medication. Do not stop. Do not start. Do not panic. Take 7 days. Run this protocol. Bring the average to your doctor. The conversation that comes out of that average is the conversation that actually fits you. If anyone in your life is over 65 and takes their own blood pressure at home, share this video with them tonight. Share it with your spouse, with your sister, with your father. You might never know it, but you could be the reason someone you love avoids a medication change that was built on a wrong number. One last note for the family members listening. If you are watching this video for your parent, your spouse, or an elderly neighbor, the most useful thing you can do this week is to be the second pair of eyes on the protocol. Sit with them once. Watch the cuff placement. Watch the 5 minutes of quiet. Watch the 2 readings, 60 seconds apart. After one shared session, most seniors run the protocol cleanly on their own. The first session is the gift. After that, the gift maintains itself. Next, I am going to walk you through the silent thyroid dysfunction that gets missed in seniors over 60, and the one simple lab test most patients have never been offered. Stay close. If your monitor at home is more than 4 years old, also consider replacing it. Home blood pressure monitors lose accuracy over time, especially as the cuff bladder loses elasticity. Most clinically validated monitors that meet AHA standards cost between $40 and $80 in 2026. The list of validated monitors is published on the Validate BP website, which is the AHA's recommended consumer resource. A validated monitor running an honest protocol is worth more than the most expensive cardiologist appointment without one. Take care of your heart tonight. Run the protocol. I am Dr. Richard James, and I am rooting for you every single step of the way.